YouTube, how's it going? The GOAT House is back with my MVP ladder for offense, defense players, and we got Rookie of the Year for offense and defensive side of the ball. These are updated every single week. This is before Week 8 of the NFL kicks off. We also have our Players of the Week from the previous week and your guys' Player of the Week, since you guys get to vote every single week there on our community section. Right before we get started with that, extra content available. You can get extra score predictions. You get playoff predictions, mock drafts, all of that part of one tier that you can sign up for, and they're all updated every single week. Patreon.com/thegoathouse can help support us, and you get extra content there. 40K is our subscriber goal. Please help us get there. Trying to get there by the end of the year. And we got full NFL content, as you already know. Recaps, power rankings, predictions, and videos like these covering the trade deadline, any trades that happen. Check us out on Twitter at GoatHouseNFL. Turn notifications on so you don't miss anything. You know the drill. We're moving on. Week 7 MVPs. Aaron Rodgers got 2 votes here, so he's the featured guy there. So Junior picked Aaron Rodgers, and then you guys, that's what the GOAT House logo, you guys vote at the community section every Tuesday on who the player of the week was. You guys voted for Aaron Rodgers, so 2 Aaron Rodgers, and I definitely could have went with Aaron Rodgers as well. I got to think for the defensive guys. I try to go defense if I can, but obviously as an offensive player that's dominant, maybe I have to go there. But Chandler Jones was equally as dominant. He was a force for the Cardinals defense. A bunch of guys stepped up for the Cardinals defense. You see Pigskin pick Patrick Peterson in his debut. He was big time. He was everywhere. But Chandler Jones really forced Daniel Jones to kind of look like what he thought he was going to be when the Giants drafted him. So Chandler Jones getting the pressure, getting the sacks, the QB hits, forcing fumbles, everything. One of the best pass rushers in football. And Danny went with the coach. We'll do that from time to time. We'll throw a coach in there. He likes Sean Payton in his game plan to absolutely shut down the Bears and get some offense going against a good Bears defense, mainly there. So those are the players of the week for Week 7. Thank you for voting. We'll see who we get next week. But for MVP, the MVP race, it's a ladder, so we're trying to change these every week, but they're not going to change significantly. Offensive MVP, I kept Russell Wilson at the top. I got Dalvin Cook 2, Christian McCaffrey 3, Aaron Rodgers gets in here at 4, Patrick Mahomes still in the top 5. We're assuming since he'll be out for at least a few weeks that he'll drop out of this the next week and so on, but couldn't make his way back. Still, I still think he's the best player in football, and he's kind of shown that over the course of the year. I mean, I'm not a big stats guy, but even statistically, he's still leading the league in passing yards. I know he only missed half of the last game, but still, that it's still rare, keeping in mind that some other quarterbacks still played every game, didn't have a bye week. But Russell Wilson still at the top. He had a rough game against the Ravens, mainly because he had pressure in his face all day, but he still made clutch throws to get him in the game. And I think he's done enough the last few weeks and really the whole year to keep him at 1. It's kind of tough to put a running back ahead of him right now, but I do have 2 running backs. Dalvin Cook bumps up to 2. And, Dalvin Cook. You can look at the stats all you want. Again, I'm not a stat guy. It's appealing. But there's more of an impact in the stats show. You see this Vikings offense and what it's able to do. And there's a bunch of reasons they're able to do that, but the main reason is Dalvin Cook. The way he's able to run, and teams really have no clue if they're running or passing, and that opens things up in the pass game. And against some teams, if you have no clue, you can take the risk and just go for the quarterback. Play the play action. But if you do that against the Vikings and you pick wrong, you guess wrong, Dalvin Cook's probably gone. So Dalvin Cook is at number 2. Christian McCaffrey had a bye, so that helped kind of Dalvin Cook pop ahead of him there. But McCaffrey's been dominant. He's been carrying that Panthers offense, and they're having a heck of a season too. Not just because of him. Kyle Allen stepped up, the offensive line stepping up, the defense is really stepping up, but Christian McCaffrey's been sensational, both running and catching the ball. Aaron Rodgers wasn't on the list yet. He makes his way on there. He's been having a pretty darn good season. I don't know if it was MVP caliber, top tier MVP caliber compared to like Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes until this last week, because it's, not really the stats he put up, not really the throws he put up, but showing that he's able to get better as the season goes on, especially at his age, learning the offense more and more, because it's a little bit different of it. It's still Aaron Rodgers' offense, but you got LaFleur in there. It's a little different. They're still trying to get their true identity on the year out there. And he's cooking right now. So Aaron Rodgers makes his way in 4, and I kind of explained Patrick Mahomes already 5. Other guys you can consider, Deshaun Watson was in here last week. He can pop back in. A couple of receivers, maybe Michael Thomas being the main one, and then Leonard Fournette, their running back that's playing pretty darn well. Like kind of what we expected over the past couple years. We're getting it finally. Defense is the toughest. There's a long list of defensive guys, and I changed some things up here. I got Stephon Gilmore, the cornerback of the Patriots, number 1. Shaquille Barrett, who has been number 1. He had a bye week, though. We'll see if he gets back to the action. The pass rusher from the Buccaneers. Chandler Jones made his way to 3, consistently getting sacks and now being a game changer, a playmaker at the same time. Zadarius Smith at 4. This guy has way more of an impact than the stats will show. He has pretty good stats. He's the glue of the Packers defense, in my opinion. He's more than just a pass rusher. So he's at 4. And then Devin McCourty, another Patriot, at 5. Captain of that defense, running that defense, and his eyes are everywhere, and he's getting his hands on the ball. But Stephon Gilmore being number 1. Why? Because he's been dominant. He's been absolutely dominant, just like Devin McCourty. But playing the corner position, you're looking at the corner position, in my opinion, it's an opinion, but you're really not going to persuade me otherwise that cornerback is the second hardest position to play in football after quarterback. And in some systems, quarterback may not be as hard depending on the offensive system. But I think corner is extremely hard to play, and the proof is kind of there. You look at, and I'm noticing it more and more, you look at all these corners in the NFL, like who was really good last year, a bunch of them not so good this year, and vice versa. You see guys that just have off years, and then they'll randomly have a really good year, and they're kind of back and forth. And there's very, very rare amount that'll stay consistent and play top-tier ball because it's a very hard position to play. And you look at a guy like Stephon Gilmore, was the best corner in football last year, hands down the best corner in football right now, in a very hard position to play. And he's got the technique down. He can be a lockdown corner and a playmaking corner, which is rare. Usually guys are one or the other. Maybe one year they're a playmaking corner, getting their hands in the ball, and they kind of fear the quarterback a little bit, or make him feared of him a little bit, and then that ends up making that corner a lockdown corner. Gilmore's across the board. He'll step in front of throws that aren't in his coverages. And this guy, it's unreal to watch. A consistent corner, not too many of them. Like I said, a lot of them falling off the conversation of the top tier corner. So Gilmore right now, number 1 defensive player for me. And a lot of guys you can, talk about after the 5. Talk about Myles Garrett. He's racking up the sacks. It's not all about just the sacks, but he's racking them up towards the top of the league. J.J. Watt, he only has 4 sacks, but he's leading the league in pressures with 51. You look at Danielle Hunter from the Vikings, who's second in pressures with 49 and also has 7 sacks. That's another guy that could be considered up here. There's a long list of guys. Luke Kuechly looking phenomenal like always. But these are my 5 defensive guys for this week. For Offensive Rookie of the Year, some things changed around a little bit. Josh Jacobs still at 1. Kyler Murray making his way up the list. Cardinals are getting going. He's starting to really learn the NFL game right now, and he's just getting warmed up here. Terry McLaurin has been the best receiver. He's at 3. Minshew, maybe not as good as the first few games for Minshew, but still been very impressive. He belongs on the list. I think there's a pretty good gap after 4. 5, I put A.J. Brown, the Titans rookie receiver, on there. If you just got to get this guy the ball pretty much, and he's pretty dangerous. But like I said, it's a battle between the top 4, but you can even narrow it down. Josh Jacobs was pretty much by himself at the top, but Kyler Murray's kind of catching him a bit there. And we go on to Defensive Rookie of the Year. You can argue the top 3, maybe even 4 for number 1, really. Brian Burns has been my 1. I moved up Josh Allen. He seems like he's getting better and better. Statistically, he's towards the top, but to me, the impact he makes, I think he makes Calais Campbell better, which is crazy, and Calais Campbell makes him better, obviously. They're able to put Calais Campbell inside more snaps inside that they would normally do without Josh Allen. So having Allen and Ngakoue with Calais Campbell it's a good trio, and they can do different things with it. And the defense is continuing to win them games during the year. And Josh Allen was just a crazy addition, and he's a freak talent. Brian Burns 2, Nick Bosa 3. Those guys are pretty much even. Yeah, if you told me Brian Burns was 1, if you told me Nick Bosa was 1, I wouldn't tell you you're wrong at all. And then Devin Bush has been pretty dominant too. All over the field, doing everything you ask for him. So, you can argue him as well. And Chase Winovich has been key for the Patriots pass rush. Very impressive. This guy's already playing at this level. So there's the defensive rookies. Not a lot of good DBs playing well. That's a little disappointing. Not really much of anything besides the pass rushers. See Devin Bush, but not really much of anything besides pass rushers. Interior guy like Dexter Lawrence is playing pretty well. But other than that, not a whole bunch. Maybe a little disappointing rookie class for the most part. I know we're still only not even halfway through the season, but that is my picks for the MVP ladder for all these categories. We update this every week, try to change things around. And we also have recaps, power rankings, predictions, score predictions. We cover the trade deadline, any trades, we grade them. All kinds of content here at the GOAT House, so please check out all those videos. Join us next time. Please subscribe. That's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.